They know.
Ultimately, you know, through the manhood and kind of coming into it and identity, and there's a lot of things in movies that are done. But I was wondering on the character Blue or Juan, like, I guess what does he represent for you guys, and is he based on a real person?
Mr. Tarell, McCraney, will answer that question.
Okay, I'm going to repeat it so that everybody can hear it. So he said, essentially the film is about masculinity, and he said this may be a personal question, but he's asking about the character of Juan. And is it based on someone real? And you had mentioned Blue before.
Yeah, so so anecdotally, nice. When I was 5 years old, my mother began to date Blue, and I knew the things I knew about him when I wrote the piece, and the things I know about him now, which is that I knew he was a drug dealer, but he was also the same person he was the first person I can remember. No, strike that. He was the first man I can remember who ever hugged me. I remember one of the times he hugged me, he said, "How you doing, little man?" And he would always say that. And so, and then he taught me how to ride a bike. He taught me how to swim. And then at 7, I came home one day and he wasn't there anymore. My mom said he died. He's not coming back anymore. He had been shot and killed, and that was it. And so one of the things that I think is important, less about what he represents, but more about how his loss was felt and still is felt for me. Barry didn't know that. We never had this conversation prior to this, but somehow he could feel the loss and the peace, and rather than show you some bloody thing that actually didn't see, he showed you the loss, which is why I don't really watch the piece as much anymore. It just reminds me of it. I still feel it. And I think one of the things that is important about that deals with masculinity has more to do with when all of us, when we get those archetypes in our life, when we meet those people who make those impressions, we then begin to build a life off of it. I know for me, that was one of the moments where I said, I have to start counting now. I have to start remembering things, because if I go away, these things won't be here. If I move too fast, or the things that care for me, that call me little, that hold me, make me feel protected, are abandoning me. So I have to pay attention now. And I also remember that when I am with people, I try to be a man. Like, that's what being a man is to me. Being whatever I'm doing. If I'm selling drugs and sitting on a crate, what's more important is teaching a child how to ride a bike. That's masculinity to me. And so it was important to me to make sure that story was somewhere in the world. I don't know if that means, I don't know if that's a good example, right? I don't know if that's a terrible example. I do know that my youngest brother, who was Blue's child, my mom was 8 months pregnant when he died, never met him. And I tried to fill that hole for him, and I couldn't.
One last question. So we have time for one last question. Oh, right over here.
Well, first of all, congratulations on cinematically presented very well. It's been a long time since movies had me on the edge of my seat. Question: are we going to hear a few things that we show?
So the question is, first you said congratulations, and is there anything more that we're going to hear about Chiron?
If Barry's down, I'm down.
Man, this movie was hard, bro. Oh, man.
There you go. Yeah.
It's going to be Moonlight too.
Electric Boogaloo.
Well, thank you all so much for being here.